All right, good morning and welcome to another edition of The Agenda, the show where we dissect the pressing issues shaping Nigeria's future. I am Chike Obogu. Today on The Agenda, we're diving into a topic that is dominating headlines and raising eyebrows across the nation. The recent wave of defections by governors and lawmakers to the ruling All Progressives Congress, or the APC. From Akwa Ibom's Umoeno to Delta's Sheriff Oborevwori, Enugu's Peter Mbah, and Bayelsa's Doye Diri, these high-profile switches are reshaping the political chessboard. What does this mean for our democracy? Is Nigeria heading toward a one-party dominance? And what are the long-term implications for governance and opposition politics? Well, joining me this morning is a distinguished guest. His name is Adesina Ayodele Fagbenro. Adesina Ayodele Fagbenro is a former governance advisor with the United Kingdom's Department for International Development. He's also a co-founder of the COA Party back in July 2009. In case you don't know, he's a seasoned lawyer. So I'll be referring to him as a barrister on the show. He's also an Afro jazz musician. His multifaceted background brings a unique perspective to Nigerian politics. Welcome to The Agenda, Barrister Adesina Fagbenro. It's good to have you.
Thanks, Chike. Thanks for having me. Thank you for that very generous introduction. The full name is Adesina Ayodele Fagbenro Byron.
Yeah.
Fagbenro Byron is a compound name.
Compound name.
And that's the surname, my family's surname. So and quite a few people just call me Byron.
So why the Byron?
Well, no, that's his family, you know. My great-grandfather, George Fagbenro Byron, apprenticed as a surveyor in Lagos when he, after school.
Okay.
And he belonged to the Ifa.
Okay.
Ifa, Yoruba families are sort of structured based on trade profession, and he belonged to that Ifa trade, which is basically they consult for kabiesis all over the world. You could call an Ifa priest. So my great-grandfather was consulting for the Oba of Lagos. Okay. But his son, he wanted him to go to school and to do so. He learned surveying. Now the English gentleman who was a surveyor in Lagos, whose name was Byron, was the one who sent my great-grandfather to school, and he adopted his name. So he took his first name, Fagbenro, adopted Byron as his surname, and he had George, so it was George Fagbenro Byron.
So that compound name,
yes.
Fagbenro Byron.
Members of the family, some just bear Byron, some just bear Fagbenro Byron, some are just Fagbenro, but it's the same, family. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and let's delve straight into the crux of today's discussion. Barrister Fagbenro Byron. Yes. Let's start with the basics and for our listener and our viewer. In recent months, particularly in 2025, we've seen a flurry of defections. Governors like Umoeno from Akwa Ibom State, Sheriff Oborevwori from Delta, along with his predecessor, Ifeanyi Okowa, even Peter Mbah from Enugu, Doye Diri from Bayelsa, have all crossed over to the PDP, from the PDP to the APC. Not to mention lawmakers from states like Kaduna, Bauchi, and others, plus over 64,000 members of the PDP and the ADC in just one massive movement. Now, what do you make of this trend? Is it business as usual in Nigerian politics, or is it something more alarming, as it were?
Well, thank you very much for the question. Number one, it's a very important phenomenon. And it is necessary for Nigerians to understand exactly what is going on. But in understanding the present, you must be historical. You must understand and appreciate where we're coming from. And hence, you call it a trend.
Yes.
So a trend presupposes that there's a time series of events that led to it. Now, you may make a mistake by looking at a component of that trend or an outcome or a particular situation of that trend and use it to try to interpret the entire spectrum. You will be wrong. Now, back in 2022, if you may recall, there was a meeting in the house of Okowa, the then governor of Delta State. Prior to that, you would recall that the Buhari's regime brought out, or should I say, emphasized certain dichotomies in Nigeria. During the Buhari regime was when it appeared that certain phenomena rose up in their heights. There was the phenomenon of the Fulani herdsmen. There was the phenomenon of land grabbing. There was the phenomenon of Boko Haram. Buhari's personality and his visa did not help. Boko Haram recommended him as their spokesman. So everything and so much was associated with the North and the Northern Fulanis that threatened the South. And the biggest casualty was the Middle Belt. The biggest casualties because they are in the middle. So this clearly gave Nigerian political, political practice, right? An ingredient and a consciousness of threats from the North, right, against Southerners. That is just the clear and, during Buhari's regime. Because Buhari failed to manage diversity. He also failed to do much about the economy.
So basically there was an uncontrolled dichotomy.
There was an uncontrolled dichotomy. I wouldn't say it's uncontrolled. If Buhari had had a different attitude, it would have been controlled. If some of his close aides had a different attitude, it would have been controlled. Control is of how you respond. And after 4 years, a number of us in Nigeria knew that Buhari was not really taking us to, he was taking us towards more tension. And I'm going around this story because this will give you an understanding of why people are moving from one party to another without any, and you cannot blame anybody. So, even in 2019, that's why people like us came out who wanted to contest for presidency, because we knew that we were moving towards a direction that probably was not very comfortable. And Buhari himself was not, he was not fully in charge. His health, a number of things and stuff. By 2022, we agreed, there was a meeting held in Okowa's house that determined that because of the way Nigeria was going, the trajectory, all these things that I've been explaining in summary, they said a southerner. There was an agreement by all these governors and the mainstream, the elite in the southern part of Nigeria that the next president
should come from the south.
Must come from the south in 2023. And
but the south is large.
Listen. The south is large. Now you want to go into the details of what, the point is that before you dive into the south is large, hold in your left hand that there is a southern president now. So the question, if you don't want me to go too long, the question is this. If you have a desire in 2022 and it is manifesting in 2025, are you going to throw it away in 2027? Answer that simple question. If you have a desire, you had a desire in 2022, everything that entered between it is consequential, but it's not material. You had a desire in 2022, every single southern governor, and they were joined by middle belt governors. Now, let me tell you, this last election, I supported Peter Obi. I was his director of operation in his campaign. How did I get to support Peter Obi when I'm very close to people like Sanwo-Olu, when I have many friends in APC, and the Angbati Yoruba like myself. And I'm not fighting with them. I got close to Peter Obi because at some point in time, apart from the governors, it's Afenifere, the South group led by Edwin Clark, the Middle Belt group. We formed a group called the South Middle Belt Forum. While Governor Okowa was having his meeting with other governors of the South, that they must have a Southern president, civil society, right, reflected by these geopolitical, cultural groups, South, Middle Belt, we were having our meeting. Our own leader was Adebanjo.
Late Pa
Adebanjo. Because the justification said that we too believed that, yes, we must have a Southern president. So, when we got that meeting, it took time. That was when you were hearing handshake across the Niger, handshake across the Niger. At that meeting, the Middle Belt immediately conceded. The Middle Belt conceded to the South, say, okay, if we are going to introduce president, it must be a South. We agree, we support you, and we'll give you the backing. The Middle Belt conceded to the South. Then, the South, in that meeting, led by Edwin Clark, also considered that Jonathan had just had 6 years. Let it not be a struggle of who will become president, who will not be president, for us to be able to focus and use somewhere. Because in deciding amongst a group of, diversity, who will be president, that in itself can cause a controversy, as we are experiencing in some other parties right now. So, it was not left to the Southeast and the Southwest. That was when Adebanjo came and said, look, we've had 8 years of Obasanjo. We've had 8 years of Yemi Osinbajo as vice president. Let us concede to the Southeast. So even before Peter Obi surfaced as a candidate, that concession has been made, and it was a question of speaking to. Adebanjo spoke to more than 2 or 3 potential presidential candidates from the Southwest. It was not Peter Obi because of Peter Obi. It was Southeast concession. The rest of the story, we went to the Labour Party. We saw how the Labour Party was. I was not in the Labour Party. I went on the platform of that. When I moved in with Doyin Okupe, I was appointed the director of operations. All those campaigns, running those rallies, So that is another side. But within that party, and I will start from here for you to start seeing.
Okay.
Obi, at some point in time, proved a very formidable candidate. The party was not very strong, but there were other structures to strengthen Obi. But by the combination of everything, I will tell you that both the party, Obi, President PCC, failed, and therefore Obi couldn't have won that election. Now, why am I saying that? That is a party that I got close to, and I saw that you don't go into a battle divided. What is happening to PDP? It was divided. Ask all the other, because we have to interrogate where these parties, do you have a divided party that will have the capability in the first place to win an election? They said divided you fall, united you stand. These are principles. And by the time APC went into that election, it was the most united party. Do you think if Atiku and Obi were together, it would have been as easy for Tinubu to have won? It wouldn't have. But you divided yourselves. It's either that you did it on your own or somebody swore for you to not to put yourself together and do the right thing. So, in essence, what I'm saying is this. You cannot complain about the diligence, right? Or you cannot complain about the success of your competitor when your own diligence is called to question. It is not that, so I don't know. So I mean, you've asked me that question, but I've given you a historical background, how those parties weakened themselves. Now, that is only one side of it. The second side of it is this. Well, let us look at Tinubu, his performance, and his relationship with the governors. most of us have to realize that the governors have not really had it so good in terms of what comes into their purse, how much control they have, the kind of access they have to the president. Look, ask Dori Idiri says that, look, he has no problems that when he wants stuff from the federal government, the matter of political party or anything does not apply. Yeah. That is a structure, that is a framework for development, whereby we will know how to separate politics from development. When Tinubu got to Enugu State for the first time, he looked around Enugu State and he saw what that young man there was doing. And he said, please, party or no party, this guy is my man. Now, the platforms which those other governors, count all of them from Akwa Ibom, the platforms of which they originally entered, because look, a political party is a platform. A political party does not on its own suggest righteousness or unrighteousness. It is what people practice within the confines of that party, within the doors of that party. You know, I don't know whether to say, I'm not ashamed, but, you know, because people who don't understand politics and political practice, they wonder why people go from one party to another. They say, oh, you're supposed to believe in the ideology of the party. You're supposed to do that. Look, Nigeria is a multicultural, multi-religious country, you know.
Barrister Fabio,
yes,
Byron, I think he has gone beyond what you're just saying now, people moving from one party to the other based on ideology. It has gone beyond that.
It is not based on ideology.
It's gone beyond that.
Okay.
Now, the conversation now is people moving from one party to the other, betraying the franchise of the people who brought them on board that political party, winning the election.
Okay.
For example, if you are a member of the Labour Party, for instance, and you win under that platform, Labour Party was on the ballot, and then people cast their votes, thumbprinted, and then you won the party. And while you got into office, all of a sudden, midterm, you left that party that brought you on, and you go to another party that failed on that ballot. Is that not a betrayal of people's votes?
Okay, now what you are calling to question is moral justification.
Exactly.
Good. Now, everybody that comes to equity must do what?
Clean hands.
Good. So if you put in anyone on a scale of moral justification for the purpose of moving one party to another, then, right, you have to ask several more questions.
Okay.
One of the questions is this. Why did the people vote for the person and the party in the first place? Is it because they like their emblem? Is it because they like the color? Is it because they like what they offered? Or is it because people just traditionally like to vote for this particular party here? Or is it because of the person who carried that party flag? Because we have played politics. We have had Kowa Party, where I was presidential candidate. We had a fantastic logo. Let me start from there.
I'm coming to that.
Fantastic ideology.
We'll come to the Kowa Party.
Fantastic internet, whatever. But you see, people, well, okay, we'll do that. But what I'm trying to say is this. The people vote, when the people voted for, let's give me one example. Just throw one example at me, out of these people that are cross-carpeted. Give me one example.
For example, let's look at Delta State, the governor of Delta State.
What's his party?
He was under the PDP, which is the traditional party of the state.
Yes, good.
And then he has moved to the APC as a serving governor.
What's his name?
That's Sheriff Ogbowori.
Good. Thank you very much. Very good example. Now, you use the word is the traditional party. I want to ask you a question. Do the people own the party? Or does the party own the people? There's a clear difference. Do the people own the party? Or does the party own the people?
Ideally, the people are supposed to own the party.
The people own the party. so the people can hire and fire the party. If the party, because the party is a platform, if you are to, you're supposed to sit, if you were supposed to sit on this chair, and anytime you sit on this chair, it's shaping like this, you tell them to bring you another chair. You are not bound. No Nigerian is the slave of any party or any person. That is where freedom starts. It is until people, PDP said they were going to rule for how many years? 60 years, until somebody fired them. And guess what? When PDP was there not a time when there was only ACN and there were only one state, Lagos State, with Tinubu there?
As AD.
AD. No, it was, yeah, AD, yes, that yeah, first year. So he cleared the rest of the Southwest. That was there. And people made the same threat. But you see, Nigeria is too diverse to be a one-party state. And we are too competitive to also be a one-party state. It is not possible. It cannot happen. Especially under this particular dispensation. There are people who always think outside the box. Even within Yoruba land, we say, which means that we cannot sleep and face the same place. If there is going to be, if Nigerians today are fearing that Nigeria will have a one-party state, in the Southwest you will not have one party. Go elsewhere. So forget it. That fear does not happen and does not arise. It is a cop-out by people who do not want to assess. Look, and I will go back to my immediate experience, right? I can give you experience of Kowa Party, of PDP losing in Lagos, of Kowa Party, of Labour Party, of why APC continues to trash them in Lagos, or virtually. There is a reason, there are objective reasons. When you win or lose an election, what you do, or when you lose an election especially, you don't start looking for, you don't start, the first person you look at is yourself. Where did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What could I have right? You don't face the opposition, the man who won and says that he won because he cheated. That's the default. You see, that in itself does not allow you to think through a number of things that you could easily learn from in case of the next election, or even for the present. So what a number of these parties do not do is that they don't sit down after an election and do a lessons learning. They don't even appreciate the people who worked for them. Because the first thing you should always do after an election is try and appreciate the people who work for you. And then you do a lessons learning. Okay, they said we lost it. Even if you don't believe, okay, go to the Supreme Court and do everything. But some people who are within your ranks, who are cerebral enough and have the party interest enough and truthful enough to be able to sit down and say, okay, where did we work out? Where did we fail? What should we have done? What shouldn't we have done? So Labour Party, I mean, my problem with them, when I was there, was that as soon as the election was over, Supreme Court, I said, look, let's call for this kind of meeting. They ignored it. Even at that time, Obi was, they want no presence of mind to say, let's learn from this and go forward. And it has happened to PDP too. PDP had an opportunity to sit down. I think this was in when Secondus became the chairman. Uche Secondus organized this kind of thing that I'm saying, a lessons learning. Badijo Okusa was a facilitator. Okay, where did PDP fail? Where did it get? They went through that process. Only for, you see, problem with PDP is that too many chiefs, not enough. Too many cooks spoil the broth. Not even cooks. Everybody is a big man. Everybody. Big manism is what killed PDP. Big manism is what made them to tell the world that they are going to win the elections 60 years. Largest Africa, If APC does the same boasting, they will fail. It's nature, right? Pride goes before destruction. Anywhere, cut it, shape it, face it anywhere. The party, individual, anybody, it applies.
Well, if you're just joining us, we're discussing the implications of recent political defections with Barrister Adesina Fagbenro Byron. We'll be talking about the implications now. If you go through the Punch newspaper last week, the Punch newspaper called it Hurricane Tinubu, igniting one-party state fears. The Vanguard says democracy is under strain as APC shrinks opposition in just 29 months. Do you agree with this? And could this lead to authoritarianism?
Well, the point is this. When you define democracy, it's what the people want, ultimately.
Do the people really have a say in Nigeria?
I believe so.
In Nigeria?
So don't let us diminish ourselves.
No, we're not diminishing, but we're not looking at reality.
The people have a say. Look, when you say you have a say, that means you are communicating something.
Okay.
Right? And you can communicate through different ways. You can communicate through body language. You can communicate through representatives. You can communicate through your values. The fact that you are saying something doesn't mean you mean it. Right? Pengason and all these guys, they say they love Nigerians, but the way what they operate, purely self-interest. All of us are guilty of that kind of thing. So you don't invest morality on one section of the society at the expense of another. Everybody needs to demonstrate their love for Nigeria in the way and the past they do. So what we are saying is this. We have a drift. Number one, if the government policies are good, why do you want to, because you're a different party, you want to say they are not good? The government policies currently are pro-restructuring. They are pro-federation. And anything pro-federation will give the states and the federating units more power. And this is what people have wanted for a long time. It's just like when Tinubu created 54 local governments in Lagos. Southwesterners, Westerners, Yorubas in Lagos have been asking for that. Look, when Kano was 20 local governments, Lagos was 20 local governments. And they used to share local government money on the basis of number of local. All of a sudden, Kano became 40. Lagos was still 20. All of a sudden, they shared Kano into two. Kano, Jigawa, they put 40-40 again, or 40-20. So, which means that from a place where, can you see, and that was the sentiment of the people. Then Tinubu created those extra local governments. And you think the people won't be happy with him? What are you saying? They were terrible. We in PDP, I contested local government chairmanship. I was one of the first people to jubilate. And then foolishly, when it came to local government election, PDP said we should withdraw from the election because Obasanjo was annoyed with Tinubu that he created 54 local governments, something that the whole state, the whole region was totally happy with. So if I do something and it resonates with the people, what Tinubu is doing with the governors now is what if every head of state were doing with governors. Number one, you are accessible. Number two, you look into their financial situation. Maybe have you heard people saying they are shouting for pensions in most states these days? And the man is recognizing, he's not saying that you are from my state, I will give you, you are not from my party, I won't give you. Who will not be pleased with that kind of setup? And it's ultimately is so that those governors can deliver what they want to deliver to their people and become popular in their states. So that is one reason. You get my point? And you see, when people start talking about incentives, you want to bribe a governor, forget about that. You know, let's be more, let's not be pedestrian in the way we analyze and see things. So he has, it's that, and it will move to him winning. Yes, it will be a hurricane election. He will win because the people, and I don't know whether Tinubu will do the Obasanjo thing he did by promising them you vote for. That was how PDP swept Southwest in 2003. Obasanjo came to promise the Southwest governors that, look, you vote for me. You know I'm your son. Vote for me in the Western region. You know, and I will make sure you people will get returned. Tinubu was the only one who didn't believe him, and Tinubu is the only one who came back.
So please come back.
No, they didn't. I mean, let's give it to our man.
So basically, you're dispelling the rumors of a one-party state.
I am not dispelling it, but you've called it what it is. It is why, you see, I don't grow a headache for something that does not exist. Go and look at, there is, in fact, it is not as bad as it was during PDP's time now. In the Southwest alone, there are 2 PDP states. In the Southeast, they will vote for the president, yes, if it's convenient for them, but it does not make a state, and that's why I ask a fundamental question. Who owns this? Is it the party that owns the people, or is it the people that owns the party? So if it's the people that owns the party, the party is building. Party is platform. If this platform is shaky, you can't compare me to stand on a shaky platform. This is where we have to start extracting responsibility from all our political parties to be responsible and to retain the trust of your people.
Of the people.
What they have failed to do is, look, we know what happened in Labour. I mean, it was fatal for me. I don't talk about anybody else, but for me to trust a party like Labour anymore.
Well, Labour Party has been fractured.
Fractured and refractured.
Okay,
fractured and refractured.
Because we have about 3 different factions.
They were while we were running for election. Donyi Okukwe, God rest his noble soul, was the one that covered all the fractures from within the Labour Party fractures and the fractures inside Obi's presidential campaign council. It was Donyi Okukwe who covered it all. That is the truth. He held it together.
Where in the Labour Party we have the Abure faction, Lamidi Apapa faction, Usman.
Those gentlemen are not what they see me on television. Let's forget them. Let's forget it.
So you're saying they're not honorable men?
I have not said so.
Are they noble?
I have not said so.
Okay.
I have not called them noble,
okay,
but I have not said they are not noble.
But they're just
call
party
them whatever
people.
They are party people.
Okay.
They are party
They are
people.
politicians.
No, don't give politicians a nuanced judgment name. Politicians are neither good or bad.
Okay.
Some politicians wake up decide to be good. Some other politicians wake up decide to be bad.
So
it's just like saying broadcasters, all broadcasters are liars. That's not possible. It's not even near the truth.
So where do these people start now?
I am saying
good or bad?
I am saying that by their fruits.
You shall know them.
That's all.
But they're trying to make sure that the party stands.
Let them make, you see, by force, if the party stands, the people will come. You see, I'll tell you something. There are 2 things that fail in African setting governance when it comes to political governance. 1, succession management. People need to understand and know that you cannot be there forever. Yorubas will say, Ojon Lo, Ojon Bo, Ojon Guri, Ojon Lo. Times change, kings change, nobles change. So one thing that is definite is that there must be succession, and there must be a succession plan. But you know, when you tell somebody that who's going to come after you, the first thing he says in this, you want me to die? Are you waiting for me to go? That is one. The second thing is conflict resolution. Even the tongue and the teeth, they go into conflict.
Yeah.
So within a political party, there will be conflict. Within a family, there's conflict. The trick there is to be able to manage or resolve the conflict within those spaces. And if you don't have that mechanism to do that, then those spaces will be cracked and fractured and will not be fit for purpose. So is it with political parties. Some of them, PDP, they totally lack a conflict resolution mechanism. Totally lack it. So they cannot, you know, and their succession management is on paper. What they say is on paper is different from what they do. I am not saying that the winning party, APC, which I am now a member of.
You're now a member
Absolutely.
of the APC.
This is full disclosure.
Okay. It's exclusive.
Full. Well, it's not, I mean, a couple of people knew about it, but I do my things quietly initially.
Okay.
But I'm a member of the APC.
Okay.
I joined the APC about 3 months after the Supreme Court made the judgment.
Okay.
You know, and I joined through my friend Ganiu Solomon in Lagos, in my state. I mean, you can imagine, I was, most members of my family in Lagos State are APC, and they've always been APC, and I'm the head of the family.
Wow.
So, but we don't force each other to do whatever we want to do.
Independent-minded.
Everybody.
Okay.
So, but you can imagine. So, my brothers were saying, bros, daddy, Grandpa, when are you going to do the right thing?
So since you're now a member of the APC,
yes,
Let's talk about your Kowa Party days.
Good.
Yeah. You advocated for ideology-driven
Yes.
parties.
It was an ideologically driven party.
So why did
based on
Kowa Party
competence.
go into extinction? Is it because of the logo of the party, which happened to be a BlackBerry phone,
Wow.
which has also gone into extinction, as it were?
Okay, let me put it this way. That last matter actually came out at some point.
Okay.
But while it is, well, I don't know. I don't know whether my philosophy is, but that is not, I can't, it will not be appropriate for me to just say that's part of it and go. I know what you want to hear. Well,
You don't know what I want to hear. But just let me hear something.
You want to hear the truth?
Yes, I want to hear the truth.
I know what you want to hear.
I don't know what you don't know what I want to hear.
You want to hear the truth.
Just tell me the truth.
Except the truth you want to hear is already prejudged.
I don't have a prejudged truth.
Then you want to hear the truth.
I want to hear the truth.
Then I know what you want to hear. You want to hear the truth.
Yeah. Tell me the truth.
Let's leave it at that. After, then you will know.
Tell me the truth.
Now, Kowa Party was established under the leadership, the vision and direction of Fola Adeola, former chairman, Guaranty Trust Bank. Anybody who knows Fola Adeola will know him to be methodical, driven, very competent, a gentleman to the T, and a leader, especially in areas of corporate vision, private sector leader. By 2007, when he was finally putting everything together, some of us were invited to be part of the founding members of Kowa. I would not hear a name like Fola Adeola at that time.
And not want to embrace.
Oh, it's because at that time we were frustrated with PDP and left PDP, although I was still in service. So even then I couldn't play active politics. But I was invited and I joined willingly, happily, and we helped to put the policy papers together. It was a fantastic party, well structured. And then if you are presidential primaries, the process to take a president, I mean, Kowa Party was the only party that compelled the presidential candidate to do a written exam. Not really written, but you was
an aptitude
exam,
test.
you know, not aptitude. Basically, you got to write what you want to do. There are problems. They give in that there are Nigerian problems that are stated, and you have to give what are the answers. And they span from geography to history to politics to economic development and stuff like that. But that was not the only thing. There was a debate amongst presidential candidates, and then we had both online and offline voting. And then we had fantastic people in that party. Chief Remi Shonaya, Professor Remi Shonaya, one of the greatest human beings in Nigeria. The greatest human beings in Nigeria, Remi Shonaya. She was a presidential candidate before myself.
Yes.
I think where Kowa Party started having problems was that our leader and presidential hopeful from the scratch, because personally, right, as soon as I joined Kowa Party, I said the day Fola Adeola is going to run for president, I would, that's my man. So, but I think the party started when he was lured to be vice presidential candidate to AC in 2011, to Ribadu.
Yeah, Nuku Ribadu.
Yes.
In 2011.
Yes.
Under the AC.
Yes. While it was number one, many people in the party didn't know about that arrangement. And we heard it. And some of us felt that, look, it would have been better if we went into that alliance as an alliance between Kowa Party
and the AC.
And not just Fola being picked as, because we felt it would have done better for Fola's stature, done better for the party stature, and maybe given us an opportunity to eventually merge and get something done with Fola in a position of leadership. So that in itself created the first
buzz,
the first shakiness, and some people, that's why, Then later, Mrs. Shonaya ran for president, fantastic outing. Her outing was better than mine, to be honest. I came up and ran at 2019, went through the same process. I think Kowa Party had an issue. The kernel of people, at times, to be too idealistic in a real world, may be counterproductive.
Productive, okay.
I told you Fola's character and his personality, competence, all that. All that, you can't have it with everybody. And if you are going to have a critical mass of it, it takes time to build. Right? It takes time to build. So I just think the trustees of the party didn't have that patience. Many of us too were very understanding of the fact they didn't have that patience. The outing of my own outing as a presidential candidate
in 2019.
In 2019, I mean,
10 years after the party was founded.
Yes, it did not. Was not encouraging to them, or to. If you didn't have sustainability, if you wanted results now. But even that, because by the time Kowa Party grew to a large population, we had already had a lot of all sorts of traditional politicians join. And if you wanted to merge, you could merge in either way, shape, or form. Kowa Party was a member of the CUPP. And the plan of the CUPP then was that all the parties under the CUPP, including PDP, after our presidential election, we will sit down and choose a presidential candidate amongst us. Truth of the matter is that we all knew that we would choose Atiku because it was the biggest
fish
opposition. Yes. So, but the vice president should not have come from PDP. So it will be the other presidential candidate announcing Atiku and announcing it, because we felt that while in 2019, while Nigerians were really getting tired of Buhari, they had not yet forgiven PDP. So it was necessary for PDP to go as a face of a coalition rather than on its own. The second thing that happened, which, well, was that when they picked Obi in 2019, right, they picked somebody from the Southeast, which was wrong. The Southeast and the South-South in 2019 could never have voted APC. The battleground was the Southwest, because both Atiku and Buhari in 2019, the lead were Northerners. South-South, Southeast, they are not going to vote APC. The vice president of APC was Osinbajo from the Southwest.
Yeah.
So by putting Obi as Atiku's vice presidential candidate in 2019, it was like wasting an opportunity for intrusion in the Southwest where you should have been targeting. Atiku's candidate should have been a Southwesterner that would have challenged Yemi Osinbajo. And he would have had a much better chance of defeating Buhari. Because definitely, the South-South and the Southwest, they don't have any stake already in APC then, and with Buhari especially.
Yeah.
So all that controversy, different members of Kowa Party were moving in different directions. And at the end of the day, the Board of Trustees decided to go and withdraw the license.
And so there's no more Kowa Party?
Absolutely none.
Kowa Party was not patient enough to even coalesce.
It was, the speed you expect in the boardroom is different from the speed you expect
on the field.
Well,
I have questions here from on the app X at Gains too much. It says, Barrister Fagbemi Byron, as COA co-founder, does this kill third parties? That's the issue of defecting from one party to the other. It says, as co-founder of COA, does this kill third parties, referring to what we were discussing earlier?
Yes, it doesn't. It doesn't kill third parties. Parties will rise and go, come. Kingdoms come and go. As long as individuals are vibrant and people continue to question, right? You continue to question the status quo, conditions will change tomorrow, right? You get my point?
Yeah.
You will be surprised that after Asiwaju has done these 8 years, right? If APC does not provide a candidate that Nigerians believe in, and it's another party that provides it, people will shift.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Free entry and free exit.
Nigerians' political space is very unique.
It is not unique. We are the ones that we try to over-examine ourselves. We try to hold ourselves to, to some certain, I won't call them even standards, but some fixations. We try to hold ourselves to some fixations that if it is not like this, it must not be this. The point is this: a party itself can believe in something today, and that party decides they are not going to believe in it tomorrow. You, as a member of the party that went there because they decided to believe in that thing, are you going to follow them with their new belief? No. So if we are a bit more, let's look, the outpoint is for the good of Nigerians.
Yeah.
Who will serve and how do we serve, how do we encourage and build leadership pipeline to be able to give Nigeria the best of services.
Okay, before we go, in just 1 minute.
Okay.
Just 1 minute before we leave the studio now.
60 seconds.
Yes, this issue of hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu is on. Now, do you think the federal government should have kept this man in custody for this long, or do you think a judgment should have been given? And now these protesters moving around, organized by Omoyele Sowore, do you think the government, the security agents had any right to attack, as it were, these protesters? Just in 1 minute.
Okay. In the first place, I don't think Omoyele Sowore should be bothering himself protesting for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. He should be protesting instead that the judicial process should take its turn. There are over 75% young men and women in Nigerian prisons today have been there awaiting trial because either they don't have lawyers or the courts are congested. That is what Omoyele Sowore should be busying himself with, not the news catching thing. He's my lovely friend, and I have told him what I've told you. That's one. Secondly, the court, whether the federal government, don't forget that Kanu's case started
before he jumped bail.
Before then he ran away. And then and people don't realize that Kanu has some of the best lawyers. Well, not initially. Now, you have somebody like Kanu Agabi, who used to be Nigeria's Attorney General, a gentleman to the court, and someone you will know. Let the process run its course. I don't want to talk about Nnamdi Kanu.
No, we're not talking about the person.
I don't want to talk
about looking at
it.
the situation.
But I'm saying that let the process, I'm a lawyer myself. Some of the things that are frustrated and slowed down the case has to do with Kanu's lawyer's conduct of the matter. People, look, the courts want a hurried, most of the evidence against Kanu is in the public space. But you have to properly present something before a judge. Kanu, the first judge, Kanu was the one that complained about that judge. That judge went okay, that left, went to sit down. Brought another one. Have you seen Kanu in court before? He takes over the whole case, despite the fact that he's the accused though. But before you know
accused, he's the defendant.
And he makes a whole. So you see, so in a way, I think he himself, he cannot benefit from his own theatrics. Why does he want to benefit from his own theatrics? They say you have done treason, that you have called for human, all these things. Defend it.
Well, I'm afraid we have to go this morning on the agenda. Well, That's it for today on the agenda. My guest has been that's Barrister Adeshino Fagbenro Byron, Adeshino Ayodele Fagbenro Byron. He's a former governance advisor with the United Kingdom's Department for International Development and also a co-founder of the COA Party. You sing, you are an Afro jazz musician.
Yes, I do. Thank you, Chike.
Maybe one of these days you'll get to sing for Nigeria.
Of that level. Well, I do sing for Nigeria from time to time. But, well, yes, I do understand you. I'm always available.
No problems. Thank you. Let's keep this conversation going. Yes. Do follow us on all our social media platforms on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The handle is @Dominion Broadcast. And on the app X is @DominionCast. Visit our website at www.dominion.org.ng. My name is Chike Ubogu. Bye for now.